Morning, my friends. Well. It's Dr. Munya again, the architect. Another beautiful day in this Aotearoa, or New Zealand as they call it. And guys, I am on my way to see another client for a new job. So back in the grind again. The hustle is real, and this is just how we do it. I remember the last video I posted, I had gone to see a new client, and we got that job, so that is ongoing. This one again is a new client that we've been prospecting, so they called us. I think, how did they get us? I think they saw my profile or a profile somewhere, and they gave me a call. They saw some reviews of some of the work we've done, and they gave me a call and said, we've got this project. It's a small one, but it's a project all the same, so I normally don't turn down any job. No job is too small or too big for us to handle. We take on board all the jobs that come our way because, if we've got capacity, we do it. Work's work. You never choose work. So this guy specifically, and this is very important for my New Zealand audience because this is like a common project that I find a lot of clients have issues with. So this guy is wanting us to help him convert his garage into a habitable area. So converting by law, by the New Zealand Building Code, a garage is a non-habitable space. So they want to turn it into a dwelling. So there's rules around that. You just don't wake up in the morning and then you've got a garage and then you start petitioning, etc. So there's rules around that, so that's where we come in. So he needed assistance in making sure that what he's doing or what he wants to do is all code compliant. And a lot of people nowadays are wanting to convert their existing garages into habitable dwellings, maybe into a 2-bed unit, a self-contained, or a 1-bed, or just extend the house. And this is basically so they can make some extra income out of it. Why you would understand that, times being as they are, it's quite, the times are a bit tight at the moment. So anything that can get you some extra income, people are doing it. And this one has a garage. I think it's a two-car garage, and they want to turn it into a habitable dwelling. And so they gave us a call, and I'm on my way to go and have a look and see what needs to be done, how it should be done, and fingers crossed. We have a discussion, and then we give our quote for our fees, and it's accepted, and we can get underway and help our client get his project underway and get it over the line. So in this video, I'll just, for the benefit of my New Zealand audience, I'll just quickly go over the requirements. If you really want to convert your garage into a habitable dwelling, what you really need to think about. And these are the things that I'm also going to be discussing with my prospective client, and see how we get on.
In 300 meters, slide left onto the State Highway 1 ramp to Auckland.
Yeah, guys, that is the GPS just telling me where to go. And like I said, look at New Zealand. Look at how beautiful this country is, guys.
Slide left onto the State Highway 1 ramp, then merge onto State Highway 1.
At Drury. So, so there's a bit of traffic. I normally try to get my meetings around this time because there's less traffic on the road, and therefore I use less time to get onto the motorway. So what was I saying? I was saying I'm gonna go quickly over the requirements of getting of how to convert, what you need to consider if you want to convert your garage into a habitable dwelling. So number one, remember, because by law the code considers the garage an uninhabitable dwelling. So when they are being constructed initially, the garage doesn't have insulation that's in the walls, and when you look at the foundations, most likely they will not have DPC to prevent water from seeping up the walls through capillary action. So this is some of the key things you need to look at. So insulation in the walls, was it there? Insulation in the ceiling, and then the windows, are they double glazed or not? And then DPC in the between the slab and the timbers. So most of the garages that were constructed prior to I think 2004 or 1992, prior to the new building code, I probably don't have those things. So most of the time when we go to do these renovation jobs, we have to take that into consideration. So be careful. Again, 3 things if you're thinking about converting your garage into a habitable dwelling. Number 1, how was the foundation done? Did they insulate the foundation? Did they have DPC, etc., etc.? Number 2, are the walls insulated? Most garages don't have insulation in the walls. Number 3, is the ceiling insulated? And then number 4, are the windows double glazed? Now, why all this? And also the other planning considerations as well. Depending on the zone of your property, which zone you are. Are you zoned, for instance, to have more than a dwelling, more than a single dwelling, or more than 2 dwellings on your site? Because the moment you put a kitchen into a garage, then it's considered a second dwelling. Or the moment you put a kitchen into anything, whether it's a garage or a sleep out or whatever, it's then considered a second dwelling, and therefore it triggers some planning regulations right there. So there's the building code considerations, and then there's the planning considerations. I'll talk more about the planning considerations as well. So the building code considerations are 3 that I've mentioned before. Insulation mainly, and I'll come back to that and expound more. And then you've got your planning considerations. Number 1, zoning. If you're converting your garage into a habitable dwelling, that council will consider that as a second dwelling because you're putting in a kitchen and sanitary facilities. So are you zoned to have more than two dwellings? As a rule of thumb, most Auckland suburbs are zoned for more than 2 dwellings. You know, there's a recent rule change last year, August 2022. The council changed the zoning rules, and most of the suburbs in Auckland are now zoned medium density, which means you can, in effect, build more than 1 dwelling in your lot. You can build up to 3 dwellings, 3 floors, or 3 units, 3 floors, without a resource consent. And that's the planning regulation around that. So unless maybe you are in the, say, single house zone or mixed housing suburban zone, and then we'll need to confirm with the planning rules whether you are allowed to have a second dwelling. You are allowed though a minor dwelling, which has to be a maximum of 65 square meters, and that is what you can have, whether you are in the single house zone or mixed housing suburban zone. If you are in the more intensified zones like mixed housing urban or terrace housing and apartment zone, you can do up to three units, 3 floors without a resource consent. But the other zones, mixed housing suburban, single house zone, rural zones, etc., you are not necessarily allowed more than 2 dwellings, but you're allowed a minor unit or a minor dwelling that is no more than 65 square meters. So guys, these are the little bits and pieces that you need to take in consideration as a client, or as if you want to develop your property further. And then once you've determined that, then of course you're gonna need a building consent, you know. So building consent, now we go back to where I started. What are the considerations you need in terms of the building code to make sure that you have a complying habitable dwelling? So insulation is key. The rules for insulation again changed, I think early in November this year. So now there's higher insulation requirements in New Zealand, and insulation is for thermal comfort. So there is very high insulation considerations that we have to meet, and how we do this is that we have to do what we call H1 calculations. These are energy calculations. That is calculating just how the amount of energy that your house loses, the house will lose in comparison to a certain standard house. So there is a house that council or the code has determined that up to that standard, that house is energy efficient up to that standard in terms of its calculations. So when we are doing any new dwelling, we have to make sure that it's energy efficient to that particular standard. You know, so we compare the standard that the code has established against our insulation proposals. So that is when then you need people like us to come in and help you achieve these compliance issues. So insulation is very key. Double glazing contributes towards your insulation requirements. So is having an insulated slab, walls, and ceiling. And then of course the other things have to do with weather tightness. We'll be checking your flashings. We'll be checking your cladding, the edge, etc. Are your flashings done properly? Are the seals in key areas done properly, etc. And then of course, when we go inside the house with your wet areas, those are your bathrooms and kitchens. We are looking at the waterproofing, very key with council. Council is very, very keen on how you are waterproofing those wet areas. Yeah, so guys, that's basically it. A brief summary of what are the issues I'm going to discuss with my client today. I'll let them be aware of that, and then from then on they make an informed decision as to whether they want us on board to help them get this sorted, or or make a different decision. So what else? What else needs to be done, guys? Let me know in the comments down there what else you want me to do, or what else you want me to talk about. Like I said, this is our second client. For young people maybe who are wanting to jump into this deep end of working on your own, and how to start a practice from ground up, how do you get clients, just hard work. This one, like I said before, we got them, they came to us They gave us a call and they said, do you have time to come over and have a look at this? We want to do ABCD. And I said, yes, I can have a look. And so if they agree to work with us, that will be another job on the table. We're starting a new one. And we'll just keep going this way, guys. Setting up, establishing more client base. We have other jobs on the table ongoing. We have a couple of jobs on site at the moment. And that's just how I spend my day. Either going to meet a client, or I'm going to a site to look at work that is being done, is in progress, or I am on my computer or drawing table, just drawing away, finishing a project or progressing a project, or maybe have a meeting with council to discuss an existing consent, etc., etc. So again, it's just a matter of showing up every day, all day, and doing what you gotta do, guys. I'll show you a bit of Highway 1 as I close down on this video. And like I said, guys, please subscribe. Let me know what you want me to talk about on a day-to-day basis. Yeah, please help us reach 1,000 subscribers. We are on the road to 1,000 subscribers. This is a new YouTube channel. I'm just starting out this YouTube stuff and see how it goes. But more importantly, I just wanted to share these experiences of working out in New Zealand, of an immigrant professional trying to find their way in this market, in this part of the world. I posted my last
video. In 3 kilometers, take exit 443 toward Highbrick Drive.
I posted my last video, guys, and I just want to say thanks for those who have watched and subscribed. I really appreciate that. I don't take that for granted. I've had some feedback. It's about presentation. Guys, I am taking that on board, but bear with me because when I'm doing this, I'm shooting with my phone in portrait form. So it's quite difficult to get it in landscape. So for the moment, I just have to do this content, which I think is important. When I'm going to see a client, I have to shoot in portrait form and post. But I'm working on getting a good GoPro camera, which will be shooting clear and nice videos, and the sound as well. And then you guys will have some good videos coming out of this channel. We're working on it, so bear with me. I have had your feedback. I am taking it on board. I don't take it for granted or take it for granted, and we will improve. Thank you, guys. I am gonna end this one here, and I will let you know after an hour or so, after our meeting, if we got this project or not. Fingers crossed, when a client calls you, it's almost 50% chance you have the project. The rest of the 50% is up to you, how you present yourself, and how you convince them that you're the right person for the job. So guys, I'll be sharing with you how it went.
In 600 meters, take exit 443 toward Highbrick Drive.
I'll be sharing with you how this project went, and if you have any questions, please comment down below, share, subscribe, like, and yeah, I'll see you in the next video.